McCartney reporting. I'm joined now by Sheikh Dr. Umar Al-Qadri, who's the founder and chief executive of the IMPIC, which is the Irish Muslim Peace and Integration Council. Sheikh Umar, thank you for joining us. We're going to talk to you about we'll talk to you about a protest that you organised on Sunday in Dublin. But just to get a comment maybe from you on what you heard from Kerry there. Kerry has I think the largest Muslim population outside of the major cities. What would you say to people in Kerry who might have concerns about the development of a mosque? One lady there saying people might be concerned about the call to prayer.
Well, I would say that with any community, if someone has a concern about another community, the best approach is to go and ask questions, to reach out. The Muslim community in Kerry has been fantastic in reaching out. The Kerry Islamic the Kerry Islamic Outreach Society has been phenomenal. They have organized previously many cultural exhibitions. They are in fact doing another Islamic cultural exhibition in August at the Brandon Hotel. They are working for the past years in such a way that they really want to integrate. They really want to, reach out to the communities. And I think that is testimony to the fact when we were listening to most of the people, their perception about the Muslims and about the new mosque was positive. Yes, when there are concerns, these concerns must be addressed. And as far as I know, they have been addressed. When we talk particularly about the concern of having a minaret, now a minaret in a mosque does not necessarily mean or translate into the call to prayer. We have in Dublin, for example, the Islamic Cultural Centre, the Ski Mosque, which has a very tall minaret also, but there has never been a call to prayer in the public there.
Okay. Last Sunday, you organised a protest in Dublin. Members of the Irish Islamic community, you all gathered to protest against the Islamic State and what you say is the distortion of the Islamic faith. You called it Not in Our Name. How badly damaged do you believe the Islamic community and the Islamic community in Ireland has been or is being by the development of Islamic State over the last 2 years?
Well, first of all, when we talk about any extremist ideology, any extreme militant group, whether this is Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, Taliban, or ISIS, they have damaged not only the peace in the society, but at the same time they have distorted the teachings of Islam. They have tried to define Islam in a way that Islam is not known for, and the Muslims would absolutely not agree with. Now, Islam is a religion where the vast majority of the Muslims believe in the Islam that is peaceful, the Islam that believes in tolerance, that believes in freedom of religion. However, the radical interpretation that these militant groups adhere to has unfortunately, that translates into violent extremism. And violent extremism is sensational. It makes news. And unfortunately, it makes so much news that the majority of the people that have never interacted with Muslims and whose only interaction with Muslims comes from the media, they develop this perception, this negative perception about the Muslims. And of course, it doesn't only distort the message of Islam, at the same time it creates stereotyping. It brushes everyone with the same comb. So a lot of people assume, generally in Europe, at least, that Muslims they must agree with ISIS. Why are they silent? And this is exactly why we, the Irish Muslim Peace and Integration Council, we started first of all in January early this year after the attack in Charlie Hebdo. We launched a website, jihad.info. We did that because we felt that some people are, unfortunately, within the Muslim community, they are brainwashed, they are misinformed about the true concept of jihad. And similarly, there are many misconceptions about jihad within non-Muslim individuals and communities.
You have a population, a Muslim population of Ireland, I think of about 50,000. Have you seen in the Irish community that violent extremism that you talk of there? Have you seen signs of that radicalisation that certainly has been seen in the UK?
Well, we haven't seen it to that extent, of course. The UK has had 700-800 youngsters born and brought up in the UK, leaving the borders of the UK to join ISIS. In Ireland, the number is very small. But at the same time, it is worrying because up to 100 people are non-violent extremists, which means they are sympathizers or they are silent supporters of ISIS. We have know this from experience. We, for example, when we were distributing the posters of the protest in a particular mosque in Dublin, there were 5 incidents. In one incident, one of the members of the council was physically assaulted. In another incident, 3 individuals went to another member of the council and said, "We are ISIS. Are you going to protest against us?" So basically, what I'm trying to say is that yes, when you look at the 50,000 Muslims, 100 people doesn't seem a lot. But if these 100 people are not isolated, and if we do not have a strategy to prevent radicalization within the Muslim community at this stage, when the community is very young, we could end up like the UK, having an epidemic of extremism.
So you're trying to take action now. Sheikh Dr. Umar Al-Qadri, thank you very much for joining us on Drive Time this evening.
Drive Time on RTE Radio 1 with Ulster Bank Business Achievers Awards. Is your business small and ambitious?